A warm welcome to all you fine chaps and lasses tuning in from London to Lahore. Now, settle in with a cuppa and perhaps a biscuit, for we've a rather important matter to discuss this evening. A rather large mustachioed elephant in the room, if you will. Yes, I'm speaking, of course, about Herr Adolf Hitler. That loud little man from Austria who seems to think goose-stepping around Europe in a leather trench coat is the height of diplomacy. Quite the character, isn't he? One imagines him at dinner parties shouting, "9," every time someone asks if he wants seconds. But let us not jest too much, for the situation is a serious one. Hitler's recent foray into the Rhineland is not just a jaunty hike. It's a blatant disregard for the Treaty of Versailles. And yet, here we are, twiddling our collective thumbs as if this is all some delightful misunderstanding, like accidentally stepping on someone's garden gnome. Now, I must bring up our dear Prime Minister, Mr. Neville Chamberlain, a fine gentleman, no doubt, with a lovely collection of umbrellas. But one wonders if his strategy of appeasement is just a tad too optimistic. After all, giving Herr Hitler a bit of Czechoslovakia next year, yes, I see it coming, might seem like a splendid way to keep the peace. But I dare say, handing a tiger a slice of your pie doesn't mean he'll politely ask for the next one. No, he'll gobble the whole thing and come back for pudding. Let us not forget, dear listeners, that we are British, the bulldogs of Europe. This is the land of Shakespeare, Newton, and the chap who invented marmalade. Things worth fighting for, wouldn't you agree? We cannot simply let a man with a questionable mustache march unchecked. We must stand firm, stiff upper lip, and all that. Now, before I conclude, allow me to inject a bit of humor, for even in the darkest of times, a chuckle is the British way. I've heard Mr. Hitler believes he's quite the artist. Well, perhaps we ought to send him a paint set, and encourage him to focus on landscapes, instead of Lebensraum. A jolly good use of his time, wouldn't you say? And so, my friends, keep your wits sharp, your spirits high, and your kettles boiling. For if the storm comes, we shall face it together, with courage in our hearts and tea in our veins. This is Reginald Barnsworth-Smythe, signing off. Pip pip, cheerio, and God save the King.